In today's video, guys, we are going to see how we can create this anime slash stylized grass in geometry nodes in Blender with some simple steps. And if you want to get this project file without continuing watching this tutorial, you can get it on my Gumroad Store, link in the description, or use my Patreon, be a membership, and yeah, have fun. This is the project file, as you can see, guys. It is fully animated and procedural, not fully procedural. I modeled some of these plants, as you can see. Those plants are amazing. I love them. Okay, not that you know that impressive, but they are cool and I love them. As you can see, this is too many geometry for nothing, but I like the smooth surfaces so much. So yeah, that's why. Literally, this is it. This is the setup, guys. And this other one is for a purpose, which is when I add like a cube, move it to a specific collection, you can see the grass will interact with that cube that we added. Crazy, right? So yeah. And here we are, guys, in a fresh Blender file. And I'm going to select everything and then X to delete. Shift A and add new plane. I'm going to jump to the Geometry Nodes tab. Hide the spreadsheet. For now, I will use it later or something else, maybe the shader editor or the compositor. I don't know. I'm going to click on that new icon. You can name it anything. By the way, dynamic grass. Okay, dynamic, it moves dynamically with any object. I will show you later on. Okay, I don't need that group input anymore. I can use it, but I don't want, because if I used the original plane, then when I need to scale up the grass, I need to go to edit mode and then scale it, which is destructive and might lag Blender and might crash, and you lose everything, all the process. So I'm going to use a grid node instead of that plane. The grid node is basically a plane, okay, but it is procedural, so you can play with its vertices non-destructively. I don't want that many, so 2 should be easy. A simple quad, nice. But I need to play with the scale here in the modifiers tab. So to do that, I'm going to add separate XYZ node and plug the X to the X, Y to the Y, and then I'm going to use a math node. It's to multiply and multiply it by 10 here and use value of 1, and then plug the value into here. And now we have the scaling. Okay, as you can see, we can scale it easy. Okay, if we go to the side menu here, you can see it's 10. If I make it 1, it will be 1, 10, just to make the scaling so much easier, guys. Yep. And I want to distribute some points on that face, so I can put on them the grass blades that we are going to create right now. So Shift A, add distribute points on faces node. I need an instance on points. Instance on points. So this distribute points on faces, making some points. You can make it pretty low or pretty high. It's for how much dense you need the grass to be. So, and I'm going to use a curve line that will act like a grass, and it is like the particle system here. Easy, but it's not destructive. Yeah. Okay. Right now the curve line has 2 vertices, so when I will use the dynamic wind, it won't work. How? Why? Because we need a resample curve node to give it some geometry. But right now I'm going to use 3 as the default ones for now, and I'm going to turn these curves into mesh. So curve to mesh node. Easy. We need to turn that curve into a mesh, and the profile, we need it to be a circle. So a circle curve, because it's a curve, we need a curve. Okay, remember that. Remember that. The resolution, the lowest resolution, we can go under to 2 maybe. Okay, it won't affect anything. The radius, play with that radius maybe, like so. I'm going to bring it back to 1 because I have something else to do with this thing. I'm going to use a set radius for the curve. Yeah, I can play with that radius, with that node. I'm going to use a spline parameter node. Why? The grass blades in real life are thick in the bottom and thin in the top, like they are tipping, you know, that tip on top. Anyways, I'm going to use the factor as a radius here. To view it more, let's view the curve line, which is this one, with its factor. You can see it's going from 0 to 1 or 0 to 1 here. Okay, one of them is 1, one of them is 0. And I guess the white color is 0, and here is the black value is 1. Okay, so let's plug it here, and you can see, as I told you, it is the opposite. So I need to flip it using a math node, sets to subtract, and subtract it by value of 1. Okay, and I can use another math node, sets to multiply, and then I can play with the value, so I can make it a typo or not. Okay, I can play with the radius how I want. Crazy. Let's make it like this. Amazing. And let's put these guys, let's use the snapping tool to make it organizable a little bit. Okay, okay, what we need, we need our ground back. So to do that, I need a join geometry, plug into here. And I need the mesh from the grid, plug it into here. I need a reroute. And yep, as you can see, we have the grass, and the shading problems here, we can fix them with a simple set shades mode and uncheck the set shades mode. Or even we can use a newer node in the normals tab, smooth by angle, remove that. I guess it is working. It is working. Yeah, we can play with the angle, but it is working, and that's what we want. In wireframe view, we can see the geometry of that. I don't need it to be like a triangle. I'm going to add a transform geometry here, and I can scale these on their y-axis or x-axis, one of them. Maybe I'll take the y-axis to make them like so. As you can see, we need just to animate them, guys, so they are animated and, you know, like acting like a wind. In between those things, a realize instances node, so I can take each individual instance and distort it with a set position node. Set position node using the offset value. So I'm going to use a noise texture and make it 4D and then I need a combine XYZ node and plug the vector into the X, vector into the offset. If we uncheck that normalize and see what's happening, everything is going around because we have a low geometry. So we need to go back to the resample curve and give it some geometry, maybe 10. Okay, very cool. Maybe we can distort it on the two axes as well. Normalize option, okay, normalize, keep them in the same place. That value may be 0.1. Yep, 0.1 is going to be good. Maybe on a single axis. Okay. Okay. What is going on? Maybe I'm going to keep them sticking on the ground so they are not going around here. So I'm going to use a spline parameter node. Spline parameter and multiply it with this factor, the factor of the spline parameter with the factor of the noise texture. So I'm going to use a math node, set it to multiply that over that into that, and voila, they are sticking in their place, which is correct. You can play with that value over here just to get some windy going on here. I can add a driver with hashtag frame and divide it by a number, maybe 10. And let's see the wind. It is windy. Okay. Crazy. Nice. I love them. We can add more and more geometry, but let's keep it simple with these nodes. Let's add it here. Control J. And let's call it F2, call it wind. After that, join geometry. I'm going to use a set material node and select the default cube material. Okay, let's see what we need. We can use one of my assets here that I will provide in the link in the description, guys, which is these plants that I modeled myself. I can show you how I did it in a separate video if you want to, guys. If you want to create some of these looking beautiful NPR. Okay, let's see the shader. That shader looks amazing. Okay, let's Control C, copy them, Control V, put them into their own collection called flowers. Let's name them flowers. Okay, and let's hide the collection from the render and let's add it here. So to do that, I need another distribute points on faces, and I can use the same grid here. Let's use it from here. And I need merge by distance node and plug the points into the geometry. And I need an instance, plug this geometry into the points, and we need to join that. After that, set material. So another join geometry and hold Alt right click with the node Wrangler, add on under preferences, edit preferences, add-ons tab, search for a node. Every time I told you guys to enable it because it's amazing. Maybe some newer viewers are watching this tutorial, so please like and subscribe, guys. And if you can make some comments and tell me what I need to do, what's better, anything, guys. And we need a collection info node and select our flowers collection. Make sure separate children's are enabled with the reset children as well, and enable pick instances and instances into the instances. Play with their own scale until something that looks interesting for you. You can randomize the scale, by the way, with a random with a random value node. And let's use combine XYZ node maybe. Okay, like so, I guess. I will play with them later. With that merge by distance node, maybe let's bring down this thing to 1 or even just 5. Just 5. 5 will do the job done. Okay, and I will use the merge by distance node to remove the duplicates. Okay, to make sure we don't have any points colliding with each other. Okay, very nice. And the trickiest part here is to animate these objects as well. If I can use the same nodes from the wind here, I can't, because they are not a curve, they are objects and meshes. So I don't have any similar node like the spline parameter node. So instead, I'm going to use another method that I found about. Okay, I was thinking about that 2 days ago, and I didn't found anything that will help. So position node to get the current position of these objects. Okay, we need a separate XYZ node to select just the Z value and connect that into a compare node set to equal. And from here, I can use, you know, I can specify a number here. So to do that, let's view that here. Okay, these are friends, and let's view that. Okay, currently we don't have anything, but we can play with that value from here. As you can see, it is selecting the bottom of these plants. I can just copy the set position and these things. Okay, I can. Let's copy them, plug the result to the value here, and we need instances here, and then plug this result into that. Or I can just plug it into here rather than plugging it to somewhere. Yeah, just here. Okay, let's see if that's going to work. Let's add a driver hashtag frame divided by 15. Okay, it's too much. Let's do just 10. They are moving. Okay, let's isolate them so I can see them better. Ah, yes, we need a realize instances node to realize each instance and distort each instance. Okay, nice. But right now I want to flip that because it is affecting everything. I want to flip that with the math node. Is there any math nodes here? Yeah, I have a math node. I'm going to subtract the value of 1. Yeah, so it is only affecting the top parts, not the bottom. Okay, we need just a small value over here, and just play with this value until you see something that looks correct for you. I guess this one is going to be correct. Okay, but it is so intensive. Maybe just select something like so, play with that scale until you see that something will work. Yeah, it is the opposite value, so we need to add a math node, utilities math node, subtract, and subtract the value of 1, you know, like we did over here. What is that subtraction? Yeah, this one. When we flip the factor, it is like the factor. It is acting like the factor from this spline parameter node. Okay, my PC, because it's so slow, because I'm recording On the CPU, it is so slow. Okay, amazing. It is doing a great job, but it is, I don't know how to, I need to play with that so it's not amazing. Amazing. This is the final product for that animation here. And if you want to make this dynamic grass more dynamic, you can make it avoid some objects like this cube to avoid it. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's select everything unless the input and output and press Ctrl J to add one group. And yeah, scale that down. I will add a cube or a Suzanne. Let's add a Suzanne. Okay, let's add a Suzanne or monkey. Let's move it up a little bit and rotate it. Let's put it into the ground. Yeah, something like so. So this Suzanne or the monkey is its own collection called a void. I'm going to make it a void, avoided. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to add a collection info node to specify that collection. Okay, and use its relative position, so when I move it, it will take the current position, not the original one. Okay, and plug that into a realize instances node. Okay, to realize it. So geometry knows what is going on. Okay, and plug that into a geometry proximity node. And I need a math node sets to multiply add and another one, and plug the distance into the value and multiply it by minus 0.250 or yeah 240 or something, yeah, something like this. Do the same thing here, and I need another math node. Says to multiply, plug that factor into here, put that value into here, and plug these two values here so I can play with the thing. And I need an align Euler to the vector and another one here. Make sure you are choosing the Z here, choose the Y and pivot into the Z axis, the vector into the vector or rotation into the vector, and here to the factor, and position into the vector, this one into the rotation into the vector because we need to rotate it. Okay, and we need a Boolean operation, a Boolean math. Okay, Boolean math node sets to end and enable it. I'm going to jump into my dynamic grass group. Okay, and I'm going to add delete geometry. After that, distribute points on faces, so I can delete the grass that I don't want, maybe near to that monkey. I'm going to block that geometry also in here, so I can use another delete geometry, but it's going to take some time, you know. Why not doing it once? Yeah, and it's going to work. Okay, remove that, and I'm going to plug the selection into the group input so I can take it there outside, and also the rotation so I can affect the rotation as well of each instance. I can plug the Boolean into the selection and the rotation to the rotation, guys. And now we need to see what's going on. Okay, let's plug that into its own collection here so I can take it and separate children's as well. And let's see what's wrong here. Okay, the distance as well. The distance should be here and this one should be here. Okay, nice. Let's play with that distance a little bit. Okay, Something like this, something closer. So it's not okay. Yeah, like this value, maybe. When I will add too many of these grass and stuff, it will be good. Okay. And basically, this is it. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, clamp this clamp. Okay. You need to clamp it so it's not going to. Now we are done with the modeling. Okay. I can call it modeling. Okay. Save that. Go to the shading now. I'm going to select that default material. And I can play with the material a little bit. Should be pretty straightforward. So a noise texture, plug into color ramp, into an emission node. Because it's an NPR, non-realistic thing. Yeah, it's going to work. Back into the factor. And we need, let's add a camera. Okay. Maybe this view, Shift A, add a camera, Control to 0. Snap that camera here. And I need a background, so Shift A, images as planes. I'm going to take this one here. Wait for it. Okay. Blender lagged. Oh yeah, that thing should be in the scene collection, not the avoid collection. Okay. G and move it there. Let's make sure everything is looking crazy. Okay, we can go to the view here. Yep, something like so. Let's go to the shader editor. While we are selecting our background, we can go to the emission, plug the cut into the color, and the strength should be just 1. Should be easy. Okay, let's go back to the grass. Let's select some colors from here. Let's add maybe 3 slots. The first one, we want the darker value, maybe this one. Here, the middle should be this one. And the brighter value should be this one. Yep. I guess that's it. The view transform is a bit weird, so let's go to the render properties, enable ambient occlusion, bloom. Under the color management, we need standard to get these colors here. Maybe let's take these colors again. Maybe let's add another color here. Let's select that bright yellow color. I can see it's yellow. Okay. Because we don't have too many grass, it won't look that good, but if we go back to geometry nodes and add more grass, let's add the density here to here, and again density here. Okay, we can play with that in here. Let's add a light. Shift A and add a light. Sunlight. Make sure it's not in the avoid collection, so it's not going to lag that viewport. And rotate the sun in a place that you might like. Make sure the sun isn't affecting the sky. Okay. I guess we need to play with the shadows. 2K maybe. Hyper depth shadows. Let's see, the density 20 maybe is going to work. Let's save that because it's going to... Oh, we are in the opposite direction of that grass. Okay, let's go here. Maybe that grass. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do something. Let's do something. Let's go back. Yeah. I'm going to fix something. I don't need that. Okay, let's mute it. Let's mute it. I don't want it. Okay. I want the grass to look 3D more than 2D. Okay. Like so. So yeah, that fixed everything literally. Compositor and add some compositing. Okay, to make it looks like a painting. I'm going to go to the viewport visibility passport 2. So it's the 1. Okay. We can add a depth of field maybe 1.4 and play with the distance, maybe 20. Yep, 20 is going to work. Let's make sure we have the correct view transform, maybe. Yep, let's make it like so. Okay, let's add a lens distortion node, set to fit, and 0.1 here. We need a color balance node. Yep, down to here. Maybe something here. Let's enable that compositor and see. Let's add some green tint here, some blue here. Yep, something. Maybe 0.01 for that lens distortion because it's too much. And I'm going to use a Kuwahara. I love that Kuwahara node, to be honest. Let's use this anisotropic sharpness level 1 and 5 for the size. Uniformity, I have no idea. Everything is going to work, yeah. That's literally good. We can do some masking as well. We can go to the image editor, switch back to mask, add new mask, call it feather or vignette. Okay, and add a mask node here, mask node, and select our vignette. I need to invert color because the mask is always inverted, so we need to invert it. Okay, we need the mix color node or an alpha over. One of them should work. One of them should work, yeah. Switch it to multiply and take a darker color and use that here. We need to render out this image, so render it F12. Give it a second to load. Make sure you turned off the rendering in the viewport because it's going to lag. So, and select our render result. Add circle mask and move it here. Okay, with S. Select that point. Scale. Select everything. G and move it here. And Alt S to give it some feather. And just wait. Literally, this is the render result. You can render an animation, but I can't. Thank you for watching and salam.